Welcome back into the Live and Amplified Livecast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet. We got Pryor Baird joining us once again. This is second time I've been to Nashville this year, second time I've interviewed you in Nashville, so I think this is kind of becoming a thing we do.
This is like our second date, dude.
Yeah.
We're like official.
Right? It's one of those things where it's like, now every time I come to Nashville, I got to go find where Pryor is.
That's
and
right.
We've got to do another podcast.
That's right. That's a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. But excited to have you back on. How's everything been going for you?
Life is good, man. Couldn't be any better. You know, we play country music for a living, write country songs, and hang out with good people. And
yeah.
What could be better than that?
Right. Speaking of writing country music, you got a new song dropping here in the matter of hours.
Beauty and Broken comes out tonight at midnight. It's one of those songs, you know, it's... we wrote this song, and it's one of those, like, I had no idea that we were writing it for me. Mm-hmm. And we wrote it a few years ago, and now that's, you know, some things have happened in my life, and it's like, wow, this song really hits home. Yeah. It's one of those where we're all broken at one point or another. And if it's not us, we know somebody that's been broken, and sometimes we just need a little help, and sometimes we need to know that being broken's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So you said originally you wrote the song, and you weren't thinking that it was going to be for you. When you write music for other musicians, do you take a different approach, or how do you kind of differentiate music for you versus somebody else?
So usually, like, I try to make sure I walk in the room and I'm writing for myself. Being as though I'm the artist, I try to write for myself, and it's just easier that way because I know what I want. You know, otherwise it's like trying to guess, well, what would so-and-so like? What would they like? So it's easier for me to just write music that I like because I know that I like it.
Yeah.
But if somebody else likes it, you know, hey, that's great.
Yeah, you just got to... Is it fair to say, like, when you're writing for other people, you just got to go with what feels comfortable versus what you're trying to accomplish?
And I never walk into a room thinking, oh, I got to write a song for John Party or Brooks and Dunn or so-and-so. I'm just writing a song, just whatever happens, whatever comes out, that's what comes out.
Fair.
Sometimes we walk into a room knowing, like, we have this or we have an idea, and it works, or sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it's like, we're not writing that today. And well, maybe it's one of those things where, like, that sounded a lot better to me than it did to everybody else.
Fair. Very fair. So you'd mentioned that you wrote this a couple of years back. Mm-hmm. What was kind of that tipping point that you're like, okay, now's the kind of the time we need to get this one out? Did you just kind of revisit it, or? So
I've been playing this song every night on the road, and it's one of those things where it's like, when you play, you know, you have a set list, and you play every night, night after night after night after night, and you watch the people in the crowd, and you're like, do people like this song? Do people not like this song? And every time we play this song, you can literally, like, look in the crowd and you can see people. Nice. You can see it touching them. You can see it moving them. You can see it, but, like, that's a song that I can identify with. That's a song that means something to me. That's a song that I feel. And it's been like that since day one. And every time I play it, I'm like, man, I love this song. And everybody else loved this song. So. Nice.
Yeah. And then, so it was after repeated exposure of that, it was like, okay, I need to get this.
Yeah, and, you know, then it was just like, okay, this song, it's raising its own hand all the time, and so that's what it is.
Sure. Now, is it building to a bigger project, or I think last time you mentioned you're kind of staying singles right now?
Yeah, but we do have an EP coming, and I'm very excited about that, and it is going to be on the EP, so, you know, we got lots of new music coming.
Fair. So outside of music, what have you been getting into?
Man, outside of music,
I know there is life outside of music, so
I don't really think too much outside. I mean, I see Emily Ann all the time. I see her across, and she's doing all her stuff. But no, life is just good, man. You know, it's play. I mean, this community, it's just all country music. It's just music all the time. Like, I like to cook. I like to hang out with my dog. Yeah. I like to travel. I just got back from California. I went and saw my parents out there. I was the star of the parade in my hometown.
Nice.
And just, you know, just stuff.
Nice. I'm starting to see the appeal of Nashville and all these festivals in general, because it's like I see you interacting with people as they just kind of walk by because you know who they are, and it's like one big family.
Well, I'm telling you right now. So you're literally looking at the two, like these two girls right here.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's here to see Dolly Parton, right?
Yeah.
I promise you right now, you mark my words, remember this podcast, those two girls right there, Mae Estes and Emily Ann Roberts, will be the two biggest females in country music in the next 10 years. 100%.
Marked it.
100%. Guaranteed.
I've been following Mae Estes for a lot of years.
She's a badass.
There's been a lot of music festivals that I was supposed to go to that she's been on the bill in some capacity, and it's like that's who I want. That if I get to interview anyone, that's who I want to interview.
I'm telling you, man, those two girls right there, it doesn't get any more real or more authentic than that. Like, and I'm not into like plugging other people, like,
Yeah.
but those two, like, it's such a community, like you said. They're just great people, and they're just great human beings, and this community is just full of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how often have you been playing shows recently? Are you playing pretty
Oh man, we're
consistently?
playing all the time. Yeah, at least 3 nights a week. We're all over the country playing, whether it's with the band or solo acoustic. So yeah, all over the country all the time.
Now, does that kind of go through waves, whether you're doing solo versus acoustic, or is it more whatever the venue kind of calls for?
Just whatever the venue calls for. You know, sometimes sometimes we'll be on the road with the band. You know, you'll be out for 2 or 3 weeks at a time, and sometimes the band just stays at the bus and you go in and just play a show just by yourself.
Gotcha.
You know? Sometimes it's what happens, and you know, it just all depends on what the venue calls for.
Fair. And the fact that you have flexibility and you're just kind of, okay, guys, it's just me tonight.
Yeah.
So
trust me, they don't mind.
fair. I'm sure. It's like,
cool.
Night off, we can go get drunk or whatever we want to do.
Exactly.
You know? Awesome. So what shows do you have upcoming, like in the next few weeks or so?
Well, today we have tonight at 8 o'clock we got the Hard Rock stage at 8:15. 3 o'clock we're playing for Dr. Pepper with Maggie Rose, and then tomorrow night we're playing at the Tulsa Rodeo.
Okay.
And then the night after that we're in Ponca, Oklahoma.
Okay.
On Saturday night, and then drive home Sunday, and then we're home for a couple days, and then we're Florida on Wednesday night.
Nice. So you're just doing a lot of drive. Is it all driving, or are you flying?
Both.
Okay. I was going to say, to get from here to Tulsa, that's going to be a bit of a haul.
That's a drive.
Yeah.
And that's after we got to play tonight at 8:25,
Yep.
and we got another show like at 9:30.
Yep.
And then we hit the road and go to. I got to drive all night to Tulsa.
Hey, it happens. Tulsa's a cool town. I've often said if I was smart, I would have tried to move there before I moved to Texas, because I went to Tulsa for an interview like 12 years ago, and I was like, Tulsa's a really cool town.
It's a fun town. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Is there a place you haven't played yet that you'd really like to, or?
Yeah, Red Rocks. I mean, there's a lot of places. I mean, Red Rocks and Madison Square Garden and all those places, but you got to work your way up.
Yeah, Red Rocks is the one that's starting to get. Whenever kind of like the randomness that I get, whenever I randomly ask that question, Red Rocks is starting to become more predominant. It used to be like, oh, I want to play the Garden or the O2 Arena, or, like whatever it is, and now it's like Red Rocks. That's like consistent.
Yeah, that and Santa Barbara Bowl would be great. My hometown,
Nice.
Santa Barbara Bowl is just a killer venue, so that too.
Awesome. So you mentioned you just went home for a little bit. How was the visit back home?
Man, back home's always a great time. You know, I live in a little town called Old Orchid, California. We got 2 stop signs in our hometown. Everybody knows everybody. So it's just really cool to go home to a small town where everybody knows you and you wave at people and they want to see you and they want to say hi, and it's just fun, you know?
Yeah.
I love the small town feel.
Oh yeah, it's the best.
It is the best.
Nice. And you said you were in the parade, or you were
the star of the parade. So they got the Santa Maria Elks Rodeo and parade, and my dad was a member of the Santa Maria Elks Lodge for 51 years. He just passed in December.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
And so they honored him this year with the fallen soldiers, and they had me as the star of the parade. And it was just a great, like I said, hometown.
Yeah.
Just supporting others.
Those small town parades are always the best.
Oh man!
I remember the one I used to go to all the time. So I grew up in the south suburbs of Chicago in a little town, and every beginning of May it was the Good Neighbor Day parade.
I don't think South Side of Chicago has a Good Neighbor Day parade anymore, do they?
Where
South
I grew
side
up,
of Chicago?
No, well, it's in the south suburbs. So
south suburbs.
South suburbs. So yeah, every year it's like the thing to do.
Wow.
Like everybody closes down on Saturday, and it's like if you're not on Burnham Avenue, you're not doing any. Ridge, not Burnham. It's on Ridge.
Chicago dogs? Are you a Chicago dog kind of guy?
So this is probably where I'm going to get crucified. Chicago pizza all day.
Okay.
But I prefer New York hot dogs.
Okay, I can dig it. I can understand that.
Specifically Nathan's, but that's
man.
just
with that good pop.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, baby.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Come on.
But awesome. Well, I really appreciate you jumping on here.
Likewise.
I can't wait to hear your new single dropping tonight.
Yeah, baby.
It's going to be out there. If anybody wants to go check it out.
Beauty and the Broken. Go pre-save it. You can anywhere you get your music. go get it. Go pre-save it now.
Awesome. And you're on social media and all that fun stuff?
PryorBaird.com. You can go there, PRYORBAIRD. Anywhere you want to go and find me, I'm easy to find.
Awesome. And then a side note before we wrap this up. The first time I had you on during CRS, I had to go ask my boss if she was related to you because her last name is Baird as well.
Where's she from?
She's from Houston.
Okay.
And she was like, no, I don't think so. I don't think I have any musicians in my families, but that doesn't mean like...
You never know, man. Us Bairds are everywhere. We're all over the place.
And then the first question I asked her when I met her was, so do you own Baird Bread? Because there's a...
Dude, so you were the one that asked me about that last year, right? Baird's Bread, yeah. No, I have no relation with the Baird's Bread, but I mean, if they want to sponsor somebody and pass on a fortune, hey.
Right? It's like if the lineage ever runs dry and you want to pass it on to a Baird.
I'm here and I'm available.
That's awesome. I love it. Love it so much. Well, Pryor, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, brother. Have a great day. Enjoy your week.
You as well. Awesome. Thank you, everybody, and we will catch you all here in a bit.
See you.